Inside the box, we have 5 numbered bags, as well as our instruction manual, and a smallish sticker sheet. Now, let's take a look at these fantastic minifigures. Hello everyone, this is my review of an August 1st LEGO set, and this just came out, and this is the V-19 torrent Starfighter with 567 pieces. This set is 75432, and it retails for $65, as you can see up there. Now, it may seem a little high, but not as high as some other sets in here, like the, turbo tank. But we can see on the back box, we can see a bunch of cool play features and 3 fantastic minifigs. And if we go ahead and open this up, I already cut this. Huh, that's a little weird. Oh, hold on. Inside the box, we have 5 numbered bags, as well as our instruction manual, and a smallish sticker sheet. Now, let's take a look at these fantastic minifigures. The first minifigure we're going to look at is Obi-Wan, and this is quite a figure. Just looking at him, we can see from the bottom we have some nice leg printing there with a little bit of clone armor showing from underneath. And this is, of course, the version that's based on the Clone Wars Obi-Wan from the first couple seasons, I'm pretty sure. We have some fantastic arm printing there with the Jedi symbol there and a little comm link right there. On the other side, we can see a little pad right there for you can type stuff on. Of course, classic blue lightsaber. We have some great printing up here for little armor up there. And on the other side, some good too. We have, I believe this is a new head print. It should be. And that's just the traditional Obi-Wan hair that we've been seeing. On the other side, we can flip this around to have a much more angry expression for when he is, of course, fighting Ventress. Our next minifigure is the highly anticipated clone pilot, and this is also quite a figure. All 3 of them are quite a figure. Looking at him, he has the traditional clone legs there, nothing special there, but the torso print, we can see we have some new. We have a little breathing apparatus there, no new back printing, it's just traditional stuff, but that didn't really need to change. And then the best thing is this new helmet mold, and we can see that it is very detailed, but it does have a little bit of a problem. On the box, it shows that the visor, with the little eye slit there, it goes out wider, and that's just blatant false advertising. And another thing is, if you look from my top head on, you can see that my printing, it's uneven, and it should also, even if it was as advertised, it should go farther back here. So the mold is great, but the printing needs to get better on this stuff. Come on, LEGO. For our last minifigure, we have Asajj Ventress, and we have not seen her since, I believe, 2015, but this specific version we have not seen since 2007 or 8, maybe I think it's actually 2011, but the last Ventress we got was in 2015, and that was the Clone Wars, 2002 Clone Wars style. And anyway, looking at Ventress, we can see she has some nice leg printing and foot printing there for some bandages. The one thing that I think would make her, and actually now that I think about it, Obi-Wan better, is if they gave them side leg printing, because you see it goes from tan to white, and on Ventress it goes from purple to gray. If both those figures had side leg printing, they would be perfect. All these maybe figures have one flaw, and that's it for me. And looking at the rest of Ventress, we can see she has a nice printing on there, and a little bit more back printing. We can see that they bring back these lightsaber pieces, which we have not seen since 2015, and those look great. And we can see lightsabers there. And she has a new head print, but I don't know why the eyes look like that. I don't know why LEGO's doing this thing with the pupil, but other than that, I think that this is definitely a good Ventress, and all 3 of these minifigures are top of the line, if only they were. All these figures, as I said, have a little flaw with them. Clone, better printing, all of them need just a little bit better printing, then they'd be perfect. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with them. Now let's take a look at the V-19 torrent. Here is the ARC 170. Now it's a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, it accomplishes some stuff that the 2008 model did not accomplish. And just one of those things is the yellow cockpit there. That's probably the most noticeable. And the 2008, yeah, it's 2008 or 9. I can't remember which one, but whatever. And that model, it had just a dark tinted one that is not accurate, and this is more accurate. It may look a little jarring at first, but it is more accurate. Another thing is, on the wing, we have one logo here and not one over here. That is accurate, and in the 2008 model, they had one on each side, so I guess a little less detail is better in a way. But let's take a look at some other stuff in this. Just looking at the front, we can see these sticker pieces used for the turbines, and they are a little bit hard to put on. I got this one probably better than this one, but there are still stickers, so gonna have to give a little and take a little, but oh well. Looking at the front on, we have some newer elements to get like some slopage here, little olive green here. We can see a little bit more olive green if we turn the model upside down. And looking at the bottle, sorry. And we can see some clips there that'll help us put it into flight mode. And as you can see, the other model, it did have landing gear, so that is something where the other model shines. But yeah, I wish this one had landing gear, but I guess downsizing really has gotten to everything. Looking at it though, we can take a look at the wings. They can fold out like this. On the 2008 model, what you would do is you would just pull this down, and then the two wings would come with it. That is not the case here. You have to manually do them one by one, which I think because those pieces are not in production anymore, that's probably why they had to do that. Plus, it's so small. But another thing is, with those piston pieces, they would just have gaps in here, and that is not the case for this, so it is a much cleaner model. The other one, it may have been bigger, but this is just a much more clean model. I think that's probably the compromise that is probably a good one to make. And we can, as I said, we can take these down, and for the back wind piece, we can see we have a clip back here with this little rod, and that just clips in right there, and that holds it pretty steady whenever it's in landing mode. And whenever you put it into flight mode, you bring this down, and there's that clip and that rod right here. It's just like, it's a very soft, like you barely hear the click whenever you push it in. You don't even feel it click. But it's pretty sturdy, like, as you can see. Like, I'm holding this upside down. You can see this is pretty sturdy. You can swoosh it around and taking a piece. I'm sorry. Anyway, speaking of swooshing, we can take this, and I'm just going to move this so we have extra clearance. We can lift open our cockpit, and inside we can see we have a sticker piece right there to represent some detail for a control panel there. That looks pretty nice. And there we go. And we have some studs in there, which we can take our clone pilot, and we can have him pilot the V-19 Torrent. He can also fit his blaster in there, because there is also no clip to put his blaster anywhere, so that's good. We can close that up real nice. And yeah, and I think he is pretty much ready to go fly through the solar system. Another thing I need to talk about is the back engines. These boosters, they look really good, and I like how they did this with the blue translucent thrust. That looks pretty neat there. And I think the last thing I really need to talk about is the cannons. Like, I like these big long cannons because they're only the Arc ones. I don't know why I said that. The V-19 Torrents are really only supposed to have one cannon, but they also have a stud shooter. Now in 2008, they also had this and a little cannon. It wasn't a stud shooter, but they had like some other cannon. So they are both inaccurate in that way because they're supposed to have one. But I guess LEGO just wants to add in that play feature. I don't know why LEGO puts stud shooters and spring-loaded missiles on every single playset. I wish they would just do it on like half of them, because it's getting a little ridiculous on how many sets are being ruined by just adding this. Flick-fire missiles, they may have hurt your fingers, but I think they were the cooler ones. Hot take? And anyway, just flipping around, we can see we have that same cannon on the other side, and I think that is pretty much all we need to talk about. There is one other thing you can do. As you can see, you cannot display it standing up. If you want to display it as it is, you'll have to actually put it into landing mode, but I've come up with a solution for that. I say but actually I didn't come up with this. I sort of did. I took inspiration from Solid Brick Studios design on YouTube, and I have these clear pieces here, and I put some 1x1 little bricks right here, and what we can do is we can have this up in flight mode, and we can take one of these and put it right here, and the other right here, and that is all the support it needs to have it look in flight mode. And obviously, flight mode is the superior looking way to display this set, and I think if you have the pieces to do this, you should totally do it. If not, these pieces are probably not too expensive. I don't know how much they are, but I can't imagine they wouldn't be that much. You can probably find them on lego.com or Bricklink, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna just wrap this video up. As you all have seen, this is quite a model, but we need to talk about one more thing: the price. $65 for this. I think this is one of the less overpriced Star Wars sets for August 1st. It's definitely overpriced. All of them are, except K2SO. He's actually pretty good value. But I think this is not as overpriced as people think it is. It is, again, overpriced, but I think for what you get with 3 amazing minifigures and an incredible model. Although, yeah, an incredible model. But I think for what you get, it is really solid, and there really isn't too much of an issue there. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this review. I'll see you all next time.